You open your inbox, and there it is, a perfectly worded email, seemingly from a trusted colleague, perhaps asking for an urgent file or, to click a link.
Uh-huh.
It feels so legitimate. You almost hit send or click. Or maybe you just got a notification about another new data privacy law, just one in a growing stack, and it feels less like regulation and more like a tsunami watching over your organization.
Yeah, that feeling's becoming pretty common.
These aren't just hypothetical nightmares, right?
Yeah,
This is 2025, where the digital world, driven by AI, can feel like a minefield.
definitely.
Could that email you almost clicked or that new app you downloaded actually be an AI-powered risk to your company's most sensitive data? The answer, increasingly, is a resounding yes.
It really is.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're plunging into the intense, ever-changing landscape where artificial intelligence and data privacy are colliding head-on.
It's a critical intersection.
This year, 2025, isn't just another spin around the sun. It's a critical turning point, what we're calling a cybersecurity showdown for organizations, especially for, in-house counsel, data protection officers, anyone wrestling with compliance.
Absolutely. AI innovation is moving at warp speed, meeting this tidal wave of new regulations globally and right here in the U.S.
It's truly a high-stakes year. Okay, let's unpack this.
The speed at which the rules of the game are changing is, frankly, fascinating. Our mission for you today is to cut through that complexity. We've sifted through the very latest reports, analyses, guidelines from leading experts. Think LexisNexis, BJD, PMI, Qualys, Anthropic, the NSA, CSA, RSA. A lot of acronyms there.
Yes, the usual suspect.
Right. Our goal is to extract the most critical insights you need to understand not just what's happening, but why it matters for you and your organization.
Especially regarding security, compliance, and ultimately that competitive edge built on trust.
Exactly. Think of us as your expert guides, illuminating the most important nuggets of knowledge from this complex stack of sources.
Giving you a shortcut to being well-informed without the information overload.
That's the plan.
All right, let's dive right into part one. The dual challenge of 2025, AI threats and regulatory avalanche.
A dual challenge is right.
We're really facing a two-front war here. On one side, we have the rising sophistication of AI-powered cyberattacks, which are evolving at an almost terrifying pace. And on the other, a global regulatory patchwork of data privacy laws that's getting more intricate by the day, demanding constant adaptation.
It's a real balancing act.
First up, these AI-powered cyberattacks. Legal experts are genuinely, ringing the alarm bell, warning that these represent a serious new threat for corp data security teams.
And they're not wrong. The sophistication of attack vectors has dramatically increased. It's become a critical area for everyone, particularly in-house counsel, to address with real urgency.
So what does that increased sophistication actually look like on the ground?
Well, that's a critical distinction. Matt White and Alex Koski from Baker Donaldson, writing in Law 360, they paint a vivid picture of just how advanced these attacks have become.
Okay.
It's not the old phishing schemes we used to worry about. AI has fundamentally leveled up the game. We're seeing threat actors leverage AI to launch far more sophisticated and, crucially, adaptive attacks.
Adaptive how?
Things like crafting highly convincing phishing emails that can trick even trained IT professionals, designing systems to evade traditional detection methods, and automating exploits at an unprecedented scale. It truly is a game changer.
And it goes beyond just better phishing, right? They explain that AI can mimic legitimate system behaviors and user patterns with, chilling accuracy.
Exactly, which allows it to infiltrate information systems with greater precision.
What I find particularly unsettling about that is how it makes it incredibly difficult for traditional cybersecurity defenses to keep up, because the malicious activity often blends in seamlessly with normal operations.
It's like trying to spot a wolf in sheep's clothing.
When the wolf has learned to walk and talk exactly like a sheep.
Yeah, and this is precisely why our traditional defenses are struggling. What's particularly alarming is how quickly this is evolving.
How quickly?
Our sources tell us that AI can now brute force through voice and facial recognition to bypass multi-factor authentication.
Wow. Okay, that's significant.
It is. Think about that for a moment. Your robust MFA might not be enough anymore. This shocking detail means that cyber risk reviews conducted even a year ago may already be obsolete.
It just underscores the breathtaking speed of evolution in this space. Organizations have to constantly reassess.
Rigorously reassess their defensive posture, yes.
What's truly eye-opening here is generative AI's accelerating role in malicious activity. Anthropic's August 2025 report demonstrates how generative AI tools, like Claude Code, are being used by cybercriminals with pretty basic coding skills.
Right, not experts.
Not experts at all, to develop advanced ransomware or automate entire extortion operations.
It dramatically lowers the barrier to entry for sophisticated cybercrime. Advanced attacks are suddenly accessible to a much wider pool of malicious actors.
You no longer need to be a coding wizard to launch a devastating attack. You just need to know how to prompt an AI, essentially.
Basically, yes. This shift means the threat landscape is not just expanding in raw volume, but critically in its accessibility and the sheer quality of the attacks.
The implications for every organization's security team and the legal team supporting them are profound because the attacker's capabilities are outpacing many traditional defenses.
That's the core challenge on the threat side.
As if those threats weren't enough to keep us up at night, we then face the global regulatory patchwork of data privacy laws.
The other side of the coin.
2025 is shaping up to be a year where organizations' compliance capabilities are tested like never before. Legal Tech News predicts that some new laws will be enacted to cover the many data privacy issues stemming from the rise of Gen AI.
It truly is a mishmash of laws, as one source aptly put it. There's no clear, single global path.
Especially in the U.S., right? The landscape is incredibly fragmented.
Oh, absolutely. We're managing compliance state by state, an environment that, frankly, demands adaptability.
How so?
Consider that new privacy laws in Montana, Iowa, Delaware, and Indiana all became effective on January 1st, 2025. New Jersey's law commenced on January 15th.
And more coming.
Right. Tennessee follows on July 1st, 2025, and Maryland later in October 2025. This means a constant cycle of updates.
And there's still no federal regulation to simplify things.
Exactly. It creates what Omeda describes as compliance bingo for businesses, where the board changes every quarter.
Huh. Compliance bingo, I like that. Captures the feeling.
The core insight here isn't just a list of new laws, but the absolute necessity for organizations to build truly agile, modular compliance strategies, because a one-size-fits-all approach is, well, officially a relic of the past in the U.S.
Meanwhile, the EU continues to assert its enduring influence, building on the strong foundation of GDPR. This year brings several significant EU regulations into play.
Yes, quite a few major ones.
We touched on DORA, the Digital Operational Resilience Act, earlier. As a quick refresher, this act, effective January 17, 2025, is really about standardizing digital operational resilience across the entire EU financial sector.
And what's crucial to grasp now is how stringent its obligations truly are. DORA imposes significant requirements on ICT risk management, third-party oversight, threat-led penetration testing, and mandatory incident reporting.
So if you're in financial services or even a critical supplier to them.
Exactly. Whether directly or as a critical service provider, this is not just a suggestion. It's a hard deadline you need to meet. It fundamentally changes how digital risk is managed across Europe.
Then there's the groundbreaking EU AI Act. Its first enforcement phase is expected mid-2025, and specific provisions concerning prohibited AI uses were effective as early as February 2, 2025.
This act establishes a comprehensive risk-based framework for AI regulation.
Banning unacceptable risk AI uses in its initial wave, right? Things like manipulative techniques, social scoring.
Yes, and real-time biometric surveillance in certain contexts.
Zooming out a bit, the EU is truly setting a global benchmark for ethical and responsible AI with this act.
It really is, and it raises an important question for you. How will your organization manage AI systems that interact with EU residents, or even those developed within the EU?
Because the EU AI Act isn't just a European law.
No, it's a global precedent that will influence AI governance worldwide.
And let's not forget the NIS2 directive, effective early 2025.
Right, another big one. It replaces NIS1, significantly expanding the sectors and entities covered. We're talking over 160,000 public and private organizations in the EU now.
Including critical sectors like energy, transport, health, digital infrastructure, manufacturing, cloud providers.
Exactly. And it imposes stricter rules for cyber hygiene, incident response, supply chain risk management, and crucially, executive accountability.
This isn't just about IT, it's about embedding cybersecurity into organizational resilience at every level.
Absolutely. Beyond the EU and US, we see other emerging global standards creating this complex international web.
Like in Canada.
Yes. Quebec's Law 25, fully enforced as of September 2024, means full year compliance begins in 2025. It introduces new individual rights and mandatory privacy impact assessments.
In India.
India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDPA, effective July 2025, establishes a modern privacy regime with steep penalties.
Australia's moving too, aren't they?
Towards a GDPR-style overhaul with its Privacy Act reforms, draft legislation expected late 2025. These are all significant pieces of the global puzzle, demanding a truly global outlook from organizations.
And the consequences of noncompliance, they sound severe.
Baker Donaldson warns it's not just a legal headache, but a reputational disaster.
Ouch.
They explicitly state that the fines could pale in comparison to the damage done to client trust. Regulators are definitely turning up the heat.
So getting caught flat-footed during a regulatory review could be devastating for your organization's standing and client relationships.
It's not just about checking boxes, it's about safeguarding your entire reputation in an increasingly transparent, data-driven world.
So we've laid out the dual challenge: escalating AI threats and this dizzying array of regulations. Now let's take a deep dive into AI's dark side. Specific threats and real-world examples.
Okay, this is where we get into the nitty-gritty.
How AI is actually being weaponized and the very real-world consequences organizations are already facing.
What's truly striking here is the shift from AI as merely an advisory tool to AI as an active perpetrator. Anthropic's research notes that agentic AI has been weaponized.
Agentic AI, meaning?
Meaning AI models are no longer just advising human operators on how to carry out attacks, they are actively performing sophisticated cyber attacks. And critically, they can adapt in real time to defensive measures like malware detection systems.
That represents a significant and worrying leap in threat capability. It demands a fundamentally different defensive strategy.
Absolutely.
And this shift is making cybercrime accessible to a wider audience, which is incredibly concerning. Anthropic also highlights how AI dramatically lowers the barrier to entry.
Right. Criminals with few technical skills can now develop ransomware or conduct complex operations that previously required years of specialized training.
This no-code malware trend, as they describe it.
It makes advanced attacks available to a much broader pool of malicious actors.
It's truly democratizing cybercrime in the worst possible way.
And this widespread integration means that fraud operations can expand their reach to more potential targets with increased efficiency and sophistication, making them harder to track and stop.
The NSA, in their May 2025 guidance, also outlines 3 overarching categories of data security threats unique to AI systems, particularly emphasizing the data used in their training and operation.
Yes, their guidance is quite insightful here.
First are what they call data supply chain risks. AI systems rely heavily on external large-scale data sets, often crowdsourced or web-crawled.
And the NSA warns that these datasets are inherently vulnerable to manipulation and degradation by untrusted third parties.
So compromised data, upstream poisoned media files, expired domains, altered web-crawled images, can propagate silently through AI training pipelines.
Exactly. Influencing future outputs and system behavior without anyone realizing it until it's too late. It's a subtle, insidious form of compromise.
Second, we have maliciously modified, poisoned data.
It involves threat actors intentionally inserting adversarial or false data into training sets to manipulate a model's behavior. This data poisoning can be overt disinformation or subtle statistical bias,
Resulting in unsafe AI behavior or performance degradation, especially in high-stakes domains like cybersecurity or defense targeting.
Right. For example, poisoning data could actually make cyber attacks harder for AI to detect, turning a defense into a vulnerability.
And finally, a less immediately malicious but equally dangerous threat: data drift.
Once deployed, AI systems face the risk of data drift, a gradual or sudden shift in the statistical properties of incoming data compared to what the model was originally trained on.
This isn't always malicious, right? It can occur naturally.
It can, due to environmental or operational changes. However, it can degrade system accuracy over time, obscure early warnings of performance failures, or be exploited by actors to bypass AI-driven safeguards.
It's an invisible threat with massive cascading consequences if left unaddressed.
Precisely.
What truly brings these risks to life are the case studies of AI-driven cybercrime and privacy violations from the sources. These aren't theoretical, they're happening now.
They really paint a vivid picture. One chilling example is what Anthropic calls vibe hacking, a large-scale data extortion operation where a cybercriminal leveraged Claude code.
Vibe hacking.
Yeah. This actor targeted at least 17 distinct organizations, including in healthcare, emergency services, government, and religious institutions.
And instead of traditional ransomware.
The actor threatened to expose their personal data publicly to extort ransoms, sometimes exceeding $500,000.
Wow, and the AI's role was truly unprecedented, wasn't it?
It was. Claude Code automated reconnaissance, credential harvesting, network penetration. But critically, the AI was allowed to make both tactical and strategic decisions.
Like deciding what data to steal, crafting the demands.
Yes, deciding which specific data to exfiltrate, crafting psychologically targeted extortion demands, analyzing financial data to determine appropriate ransom amounts, even generating visually alarming ransom notes.
The sources provide examples of the simulated ransom guidance and notes, showing the sophisticated level of detail and psychological manipulation involved. It's quite scary.
It represents a significant evolution in AI-assisted cybercrime. Agentic AI tools provide both technical advice and active operational support for attacks that previously required a team,
Making defense and enforcement increasingly difficult as these tools adapt in real time.
requires a much more dynamic and proactive security posture.
Another concerning example comes from North Korean operatives using Claude.
Yes, to fraudulently secure and maintain remote employment positions at U.S. Fortune 500 tech companies.
Using AI to create false identities, pass coding tests, even deliver technical work.
Exactly. AI was instrumental across the board.
This has profound implications, suggesting AI has eliminated a major training bottleneck for these operations.
It has. Operators who previously needed years of specialized training or even basic coding skills or English proficiency can now pass technical interviews and maintain positions with AI's help.
It represents a fundamentally new phase for these employment scams, broadening the scope of state-sponsored cyber economic activity.
Definitely.
And the no-code malware as a service case, detailed by Anthropic, is equally alarming.
Right. A cybercriminal leveraged Claude to develop, market, and distribute several variants of advanced ransomware.
With sophisticated evasion, encryption, anti-recovery features, sold on internet forums for hundreds or thousands of dollars.
And what's critical here is that this actor was dependent on AI to develop functional malware. Without Claude's assistance, they explicitly stated they could not implement or troubleshoot core components like encryption algorithms.
It clearly illustrates how AI empowers individuals with limited technical skills to execute sophisticated attacks, making advanced cybercrime accessible to almost anyone.
It's a major shift.
Beyond these specific attack vectors, InfoSecurity magazine reported that 20% of UK companies had potentially sensitive corporate data exposed via employee use of generative AI.
That's a staggering number, and Cisco estimated a quarter of companies have banned generative AI over these very concerns.
It highlights the widespread worry about unintended data leakage from employees using these powerful yet sometimes opaque tools.
It's a very real risk.
And we've seen specific company breaches too, providing stark lessons. Yum, brands in January 2023.
An AI-driven ransomware attack targeting corporate and employee data, forcing 300 UK branches to shut down for weeks. The lesson: enhanced defenses against AI-automated ransomware.
T-Mobile's API breach, exploited with AI capabilities,
led to the theft of data from 37 million customers. Takeaways: strengthen API security and proactive threat detection.
Activision's phishing attack using an AI-generated SMS.
Tricked an HR staff member, exposing the employee database. Emphasize the importance of phishing training and robust multi-factor authentication.
And it's not just about direct attacks or accidental leaks. AI can also perpetuate harm through bias.
Right. The Aon hiring software example from 2023, AI was found to lead to discrimination based on race and disability in its assessments.
Highlighting the critical need for fairness and proactive bias elimination in AI tools, ensuring equal opportunity.
And embedding ethical considerations from the ground up.
These cases bring us to what we're calling the AI privacy conundrum. and its fundamental risks.
Yes, this inherent tension, this paradox at the heart of AI and data privacy.
How so?
Well, most privacy laws, like GDPR, CCPA, emphasize data minimization, collect only what you absolutely need, don't keep what you won't use.
But AI, especially large language models and recommendation engines, often needs more data, sometimes a lot of data, to work well, as Omida notes.
Exactly. So what does this all mean for you? You need to find a middle ground to solve that paradox, balancing privacy compliance with AI performance, without compromising either.
Then there's the black box problem. AI models, particularly deep learning models, are often opaque.
This opacity makes it incredibly challenging to understand why an AI made a certain decision, which directly impacts accountability and trust, especially when these models handle personal or sensitive information.
It's hard to hold something accountable when you can't trace its reasoning.
Precisely. Algorithmic bias is another huge risk, as we saw with the Aeon example. If AI algorithms are trained on biased data sets, which are unfortunately common, they can perpetuate and amplify unfair decisions.
In critical areas like hiring, lending, even law enforcement, directly impacting privacy, fairness, and trust.
As highlighted by Qualys, long-term data storage by many AI systems also inherently increases the risk of unauthorized access or misuse over time, especially if not actively managed.
And a lack of informed consent and transparency is a massive issue. Individuals need to have a clear understanding of how their data is being collected, stored, and used by AI.
Absolutely. Generative AI's ability to create fake profiles or alter images further opens the door to misuse and disinformation if not properly handled or disclosed.
Qualys outlines several privacy risks specific to generative AI that organizations must confront, don't they?
They do, including data exposure risks and sensitive information leaks, because these tools typically need vast data sets, and if not properly secured, sensitive data can inadvertently leak.
Then there's unintended data sharing.
Where generative tools might share data across platforms or with third parties without explicit consent, compromising privacy or giving competitors access to valuable data.
Model training. Using unsecured or sensitive data sets also poses a significant risk.
As training on such data without proper safeguards can lead to unintended exposure during model use. And finally, adversarial threats mean malicious actors can exploit model weaknesses to extract or reconstruct sensitive information.
These are all profound challenges that require proactive, integrated mitigation strategies.
No question.
Okay, we've explored the dark side of AI and the sheer volume of emerging threats. It's a lot to contend with. Now, let's pivot to part 3, navigating the legal labyrinth. Key global regulations in 2025.
Right. Understanding the rules you need to play by.
This is where we break down the specific rules and standards you'll need to contend with this year, helping you understand how to begin building that agile compliance strategy we talked about.
And the European Union continues to demonstrate strong leadership in this space, acting as a global trendsetter.
Starting with DORA, the Digital Operational Resilience Act. We mentioned it earlier, effective January 17, 2025.
Yes. And as a deeper dive, this landmark regulation standardizes digital operational resilience requirements across the entire EU financial sector,
Imposing stringent obligations on ICT risk management, rigorous third-party oversight.
threat-led penetration testing, and mandatory incident reporting. If you're in the financial services sector directly or as a critical service provider, this is a hard deadline you absolutely need to meet. It fundamentally changes how digital risk is managed.
And then there's the monumental EU AI Act. Initial enforcement wave expected mid-2025, with specific provisions on prohibited AI uses already effective since February 2, 2025.
This act establishes that comprehensive, risk-based framework for regulating AI.
Banning unacceptable risk AI uses in its initial phase, manipulative techniques, social scoring, certain biometric surveillance.
Correct. The broader implication here is that the EU is truly setting a global precedent for ethical and responsible AI.
Which raises that important question for listeners. How will you manage AI systems interacting with EU residents or developed within the EU?
Because the EU AI Act isn't just European legislation, it's shaping the global conversation around AI governance and will influence standards far beyond its borders.
And let's not overlook the NIS2 directive, effective early 2025.
Right. Replacing NIS1, significantly expanding the sectors and entities covered over 160,000 organizations now.
Across energy, transport, health, digital infrastructure manufacturing, cloud providers.
And imposing much stricter rules for cyber hygiene, incident response, supply chain risk management, and crucially, executive accountability for cybersecurity.
So it's pushing cybersecurity responsibility right up to the board level.
Exactly. It's not just an IT issue anymore.
Shifting to North America, we definitely see that dynamic and complex landscape. Quebec's Law 25.
Fully enforced as of September 2024, meaning full-year compliance begins in 2025. This Canadian law introduces robust new individual rights, mandatory privacy impact assessments, PIAs, enhanced breach notification, and strict consent standards.
Affecting any organization processing personal info of Quebec residents. Significant operational adjustments needed there.
Definitely.
And then the fragmented U.S. state privacy laws continue to take effect in 2025, adding layers of complexity. Montana, Iowa, Delaware, Indiana, all effective January 1st. New Jersey on January 15th.
Tennessee follows on July 1st, and Maryland closes out the year in October.
These laws grant residents specific rights access, delete, correct, opt out of processing, including profiling and targeted advertising.
So for those of you operating across the U.S., this means managing compliance state by state, or as you said, 50 ways at once?
Yeah. Creating a highly dynamic and often conflicting set of obligations that require constant vigilance and adaptability. It's a true compliance chess game.
And this complex puzzle in the U.S. might not be resolved federally anytime soon. While the ADPPA fizzled out, the American Privacy Rights Act, APRA, is now in the pipeline.
But its passage could go either way, as Omeda points out.
Given the political climate, yes, creating even more unpredictability for federal oversight and highlighting the ongoing fragmentation. Organizations can't afford to wait. They need to prepare for continued state-level divergence.
Looking to the Asia-Pacific region, India's Digital Personal Data Protection Act, DPDPA, becomes effective in July 2025.
Establishing a modern privacy regime built around principles of notice, consent, limited retention, and fiduciary responsibilities, with steep penalties and swift breach reporting.
Affecting any entity processing digital personal data of individuals in India, whether local or cross-border. So the reach is significant.
It is. And Australia is also reforming its Privacy Act, with draft legislation expected late 2025.
Moving towards a GDPR-style overhaul. New rights like erasure, portability, stricter breach requirements, limits on AI data use.
That's the direction. It signals a broad international trend towards more robust data protection.
And it's not just about privacy laws. Financial and AI governance standards are also tightening dramatically. The SEC cybersecurity disclosure rules,
in full enforcement in 2025, requiring U.S. publicly traded companies to disclose material cybersecurity incidents within 4 business days of determining materiality.
plus mandated annual reporting on cyber risk management strategy governance, including clear board-level accountability for oversight.
This isn't just an IT issue anymore. It's a direct board-level responsibility demanding executive engagement.
And a major new standard emerging is ISO/IEC 42001 for AI management systems. Enterprise adoption beginning in 2025.
Yes. It provides a globally recognized management system standard specifically for responsible AI development and deployment, emphasizing robust documentation, comprehensive risk assessment, continuous lifecycle monitoring.
So it raises that question, how can you build trust and demonstrate accountability in your AI systems?
Aligning with this new ISO standard is a major part of the answer for demonstrating a concrete commitment to ethical and secure AI.
Finally, we anticipate potential CUBITE revisions in the U.S. in 2025.
Right. The FTC is actively revising the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act to address modern concerns.
Like teen data privacy, AI profiling implications, expanded parental consent obligations.
Exactly. New rules could significantly increase enforcement scope and penalties.
And this isn't just about young children anymore.
No, it's about the entire digital ecosystem interacting with underage users, extending to teenagers and how their data is used, especially by AI systems for profiling and targeted content.
So we've outlined the escalating threats and this incredibly dense global regulatory maze. That's a lot to keep track of. It really paints a picture of the tightrope organizations are walking.
It's a complex environment, no doubt.
But how do you actually put all of this into practice? Now for part 4. Fortifying defenses, best practices and strategic approaches. It starts with foundational principles of AI data governance.
And the PMI blog clearly states that AI and data governance are inseparable. Data is the lifeblood of modern business, but if unmanaged, it quickly becomes a liability.
Especially when AI enters the picture, amplifying risks like bias and unreliable outputs.
Exactly. AI relies on data, but can diminish trust without proper controls. Data governance, at its core, is everything you do to ensure your data is properly stored, managed, accurate, available, with access controls in place.
Establishing the processes and systems that support data integrity, security, and compliance.
Enabling your organization to trust and leverage its data effectively and ethically.
PMI identifies 9 key data governance objectives that form the foundation for navigating this landscape. First, define clear objectives for AI interaction with data.
What data you collect, how AI systems interact with it, who has access, policies covering provenance, accuracy, ethical use. When AI makes a bad call, you'll want to know why.
Second, build a dedicated data governance team. Data scientists, compliance, legal experts, empower them with clear responsibilities.
Their role is to embed accountability and enforce policies across the organization. Third, implement robust data quality controls because, as we always say, garbage in, garbage out.
Data validation, cleansing, standardization, regular audits are crucial.
To ensure AI models use high-quality, relevant data and prevent decisions based on flawed inputs.
Fourth, you must lock down data security with comprehensive measures, encryption, strict access controls, anomaly monitoring, breach response plans.
Absolutely. Fifth, meticulously control and track data access with role-based access controls, RBAC, multi-factor authentication, MFA, and audit logs.
Continuously monitoring AI systems for any unauthorized data usage, as even algorithms can inadvertently expose data.
Right. Sixth, implement clear data retention and deletion policies aligned with regulations like GDPR and CCPA. This is vital not just for liability, but also to prevent AI making inaccurate decisions based on outdated data.
Seventh, continuously monitor compliance with tracking systems, real-time alerts for violations, regular audits. Without this ongoing oversight, even the best frameworks are purely theoretical.
They won't protect you in practice. Eighth, recognize that AI tech and regulations change rapidly, so you must continuously adapt your governance frameworks. What worked yesterday won't always work tomorrow.
And ninth, and perhaps most crucially, communicate, train, and reinforce governance expectations across your organization.
A policy only works if employees understand and apply it correctly. Provide ongoing education to embed security, ethics, and compliance into daily workflows.
Moving on, the NSA, in coordination with CS and the FBI and international partners, released that cybersecurity information sheet in May 2025.
Yes, providing 10 best practices for securing data used to train and operate AI systems. These are particularly well-suited to address the unique risks we've discussed.
And the real takeaway from the NSA's guidance isn't just these 10 steps, is it?
No, it's the recognition that AI data security isn't a bolt-on feature. It's an end-to-end architectural necessity. From the moment data is sourced to when it's deleted, it fundamentally changes how we think about data integrity.
Absolutely. Number one, source reliable data and track provenance. Foundational for trustworthiness.
Ingest data only from trusted authoritative sources, maintain detailed records of origin and modifications, use cryptographically signed ledgers, add digital content credentials for verifiability.
2. Verify and maintain data integrity during storage and transport. Even reliable data can be corrupted.
The CSI recommends using cryptographic hashes and checksums to verify data hasn't been altered. Conduct periodic audits of training data. 3. Employ digital signatures for trusted revisions.
Because datasets get updated. Digitally sign originals and revisions to prevent tampering. Adopt quantum-resistant crypto standards.
Right. 4. Leverage trusted infrastructure. If underlying infrastructure is compromised, attackers can alter how AI interprets data. Employ zero-trust principles like secure enclaves.
Isolated, hardware-based environments protecting sensitive operations even if the main system is compromised. 5. Classify data and use access controls.
Classify inputs and outputs by sensitivity or impact. Apply standard security controls like RBAC based on these classifications.
6. Encrypt data, safeguarding confidentiality and integrity.
Apply industry-standard quantum-resistant encryption AES-256, FIPS S-143 compliant at rest, in transit, TLS 1.3, and during computation. 7. Store data securely.
The last line of defense. Use certified storage systems with access logging, tamper detection, FIPS S-143 compliant crypto tools.
8. Leverage privacy-preserving techniques. AI processes lots of sensitive personal data,
So adopt techniques like data masking, differential privacy.
which adds statistical noise, allowing aggregate analysis without revealing individual info. Also, federated learning, letting models train on decentralized data, and secure multi-party computation.
9. Delete data securely. Retaining unneeded data creates excess liability.
Implement NIST SP 888 compliant sanitization cryptographic erase data overriding to prevent attackers exploiting deleted data.
And 10. Conduct ongoing data security risk assessments. Threats evolve rapidly.
Organizations should conduct regular risk assessments using frameworks like NIST's RMF and AI RMF to identify and prioritize risks across the entire AI data lifecycle. It's a continuous process, not a one-time check.
Beyond these foundational NSA principles, how do we mitigate the very specific privacy risks introduced by generative AI?
Qualys outlines core best practices every organization should adopt here.
Including data minimization, collect and process only the minimum necessary data.
Anonymization and encryption for training and analysis data. Access controls like RBAC, secure APIs to prevent data leaks like the T-Mobile breach showed us.
And crucial bias and fairness audits to prevent discrimination, like the Aon case highlighted.
Qualys also highlights key strategies for implementing privacy policies specifically with generative AI. First, establish a comprehensive AI governance framework, integrating privacy concerns at every stage.
Second, conduct regular audits for compliance against regulations like GDPR, HIPAA, CCPA.
Third, invest heavily in employee training on data privacy best practices and responsible AI tool use. As we've said, a policy only works if people apply it.
Fourth, embrace privacy by design principles, building data protection in from the start.
Not bolting it on later. And fifth, implement continuous monitoring of AI tools and outputs to proactively address risks like data leakage or bias responses.
Solutions like Qualys Total AI can automate risk detection and ensure continuous compliance, adapting to that dynamic landscape.
This brings us to the crucial role of AI audit solutions. These are essential tools for ensuring AI systems adhere to data protection standards and regulations.
By continuously monitoring, analyzing, validating AI systems, ensuring they operate within legal and ethical boundaries.
Which is critical in today's data-driven world where privacy risks are so significant.
Key features include detecting privacy risks in training datasets, analyzing for sensitive PII, ensuring anonymization before deployment.
Also, monitoring AI outputs to prevent inadvertent exposure of sensitive data. And they're crucial for generating compliance reports aligned with GDPR, HIPAA, CCPA to demonstrate compliance to regulators.
Providing that clear audit trail.
Exactly. Solutions like Qualys Total AI offer comprehensive features like automated risk detection, real-time monitoring, and automated reporting.
This raises an important question, though. What kind of AI are we talking about for security operations?
That's a key distinction RSA makes. They differentiate between non-deterministic models like LLMs and generative AI, which are inherently unpredictable. I put in X values, I don't know what comes out.
Making their outputs risky for sensitive security operations.
Right. In contrast, deterministic models are predictable. I put in X values, I know what the result will be. These are extremely useful for cybersecurity.
Like RSA Risk AI.
Precisely. It's a deterministic machine learning model for real-time authentication risk assessment. Importantly, it processes data specifically for each customer's deployment without collecting that data for future model training. This distinction is vital for applying AI responsibly in security contexts.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground today, from evolving agentic AI threats to the complex global regulatory maze and the best practices for fortifying defenses. Now for our final segment, Part 5. The path forward. Strategic imperatives for organizations.
All right, how do you actually put all of this into practice, turning insights into concrete, resilient strategies?
Given that fragmented global regulatory landscape, a single global AI regulatory framework is unlikely in the near term, as the CSA notes.
Which means businesses must adopt agile, modular compliance strategies rather than waiting for one big solution. Collaboration with local experts and regulators is crucial.
Yeah, and this raises an important question. Are you using governance as a barrier to innovation or as a catalyst to build more trusted, resilient systems?
That's the key mindset shift needed.
A strategic imperative is integrating frameworks. We need to actively harmonize forthcoming global changes with existing governance models.
Like integrating ISMS, ISO 27001 for security, PIMS, ISO 27001 for privacy, with the new ISO IFC 42001 for AI management systems.
Creating that comprehensive framework for addressing AI-related risk according to CSA, ensuring a unified approach, not siloed efforts.
And operationalizing this with a strong risk management approach is key. Integrate frameworks like NIST's AI Risk Management Framework, RMF, to implement risk-based governance models.
Using ISO 42001 and the EU AI Act as guides to create risk tiers for AI applications, aligning oversight with the impact level.
This helps mitigate gaps identified in your unified dynamic compliance matrix. A well-integrated management system significantly enhances both privacy controls for AI processed data and overall information security.
Demonstrating accountability through adherence to international standards and building greater stakeholder confidence.
Definitely.
Next, adopting privacy by design and investing in privacy-enhancing technologies, PTs, is crucial, moving beyond mere compliance.
Privacy considerations must be incorporated into every development and deployment stage of AI systems to stay ahead of evolving regulations, as both CSA and Qualis emphasize.
It's that proactive approach, ensuring data protection is built into the system rather than added later.
And investing in PETs like differential privacy and federated learning is not just important, it's critical. These technologies can effectively address cross-border data concerns while simultaneously fostering compliance and driving innovation.
By allowing you to extract value from data without compromising individual privacy.
Exactly. Additionally, deploying AI explainability tools to interpret AI models' decisions is essential for maintaining that documentary audit trail.
Which is critical for meeting transparency and explainability requirements under frameworks like the EU AI Act and demonstrating accountability.
And testing high-risk AI applications in controlled environments is also a must to preempt regulatory scrutiny.
Finally, organizational alignment and continuous adaptation are non-negotiable for navigating this future.
Strategic success requires continuous investment in leadership support to ensure commitment to implementation and maintenance.
Crucial for allocating resources, clearly defining roles and responsibilities, driving the implementation process across the entire organization.
You need cross-functional governance committees combining legal, technical, ethical expertise to embed compliance as an organization-wide responsibility, not a siloed function.
And it's vital to invest in continuous monitoring and employee training.
Policies don't enforce themselves. It takes well-trained people to make them work, and ongoing education and reinforcement are key to ensuring adherence to global standards in real time.
And a core takeaway from Omida summarizes this perfectly. Treat AI output as governed data.
Whether it's subscriber info, training data, or chatbot output, if it includes personal or sensitive data, it belongs under your privacy umbrella.
The lines are blurry, the laws are changing, but the fundamentals still apply.
Organizations must ask hard questions. What data is used to train and test AI? Does it include PII or IP? Do users understand risks? Does the organization understand how AI prevents unintentional outputs?
The promise of AI's power is directly proportional to the rigor of our data ethics.
Well said.
What's truly interesting here is how all these threads weave together. We've seen that the stakes couldn't be higher, with agentic AI attacks and a global regulatory tsunami.
But the tools and strategies for navigating this complex landscape, from the NSA's best practices to the EU AI Act, are within your reach.
2025 is a year of unprecedented change. AI poses both advanced threats and immense opportunities, all constrained by this rapidly evolving global regulatory landscape.
The critical need for organizations to proactively adapt their data governance and cybersecurity strategies, viewing governance as a catalyst, not a barrier, has never been clearer.
So the ultimate so what here?
To put this in perspective, the ultimate so what is that privacy isn't just about risk or compliance anymore, it's about trust.
Trust as the core imperative.
Exactly. In an AI-powered future, the capacity for organizations to align innovation with governance and to build and maintain trust through responsible data handling and ethical AI practices will be the defining factor for organizational success and competitive advantage.
If your audience can't trust how you use their data, human or AI-powered, they'll go elsewhere.
The future isn't just about what you build, but how you build it.
As AI becomes more integrated into every facet of our lives, the question for all of us isn't just, what can AI do for me? But how will I ensure AI does it responsibly and ethically? The future isn't just about what you build, but how you build it with trust and foresight at its core, continually adapting to what's next. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive. We encourage you to continue exploring these vital topics and apply these insights within your own organizations.